All right, let's talk about something that's probably in your garage right now. It's a tool we use all the time, but here's the thing, we often forget just how dangerous it can be. Yep, I'm talking about the humble ladder. Giving it the respect it deserves is step number one to staying safe. So let's dive right in.
I mean, it seems so simple, doesn't it? You just lean it against the wall and start climbing. But, and this is a big but, one little slip up, one moment of not paying attention can lead to some really serious consequences. So, our goal today is to give you the key info you need to make sure this thing stays a helpful tool and not a hazard waiting to happen.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We've got 5 main parts. First up, we'll look at the everyday dangers. Then, we'll go through a pre-climb checklist, how to get the perfect setup, and then the right way to climb and work. And we'll wrap it all up with 3 super important rules to remember.
So let's get into it. Why do things go so wrong with ladders? It's almost never the ladder's fault. It's usually us. It's how we're using it. The problem is, gravity doesn't give second chances. And even a fall from just a few feet can change everything in an instant.
Yeah, I bet some of these look pretty familiar. Come on, we've all been there, right? You're tempted to just stretch a little bit further instead of getting down and moving the whole ladder. That's overreaching. Or maybe you've tried to juggle tools in one hand while climbing. It's those tiny split-second decisions, those little gambles, that are almost always the cause of a serious accident.
Okay, enough about the problems, let's talk solutions. How do we prevent these falls? Well, the absolute best way to stay safe is all in the preparation. Seriously, your safety check starts way before your foot ever touches that first rung.
First things first, are you even using the right ladder for the job? This isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. For example, if you're working anywhere near electricity, you absolutely have to use a non-conductive ladder, like fiberglass. A metal one? No way. And this should be obvious, but please, never ever try to rig up your own solution by joining 2 short ladders together. Just don't do it. And, there are all sorts of ladders out there. You might have a simple one-piece or maybe a big extension ladder. Whatever you're using, you've got to know it inside and out. Get familiar with all its parts, and especially how the locking mechanisms work. Be an expert on your equipment. Now, this next part is a habit you need to build. Before every single time you use a ladder, just take 30 seconds for a quick look over. Seriously, that's all it takes. You're looking for any red flags. Are there cracks in the side rails? Those are called the stiles. Give the rungs a little wiggle. Are they loose? And super important, look at the feet. Are those non-skid pads still there and in good shape? They're what's stopping you from sliding. And listen to me on this one. If you find anything wrong, I don't care how small it seems. That ladder is done. It's out of service, and don't just lean it against the wall where someone else might grab it. Tag it, make it super obvious it's broken, and get it away from the worksite immediately. This is one rule you just can't bend. All right, so you've picked the right ladder, you've checked it over, and it's good to go. Now comes what is maybe the most crucial step of all, setting it up properly. You know that saying in real estate, location, location, location? Well, it's just as true for ladders. If there's one number you burn into your brain today, make it this one, 4 to 1. Think of it as the golden angle for ladder safety. Why? Well, if it's too steep, you risk tipping right over backwards. But if it's too shallow, the bottom can just slide out. 4 to 1, that's the magic ratio that keeps you perfectly stable.
So how do you actually get this magical 4 to 1 angle? It's way easier than it sounds. First, make sure you're leaning it against something solid, okay? Not a gutter, not a window. Then, just remember this. For every 4 feet you go up, the base of the ladder needs to be 1 foot out from the wall. So if your ladder is resting 12 feet up the wall, you just need to pull the base out 3 feet. Simple as that.
Okay, here's another key measurement for you. If you're climbing up onto something, like a roof, the top of the ladder has to extend about 3 feet or 1 meter past the edge. Why? Because that gives you something sturdy to grab onto when you're getting on and off. It makes that transition so much safer.
Look, the ground underneath your ladder is everything. It has to be firm, it has to be level, no exceptions. If the ground's a bit sloped, don't even think about propping one of the feet up with a brick or a piece of wood. That is a recipe for absolute disaster. Your best bet is to find a different spot. And if you can't secure the top of the ladder, grab a buddy to foot it for you. That just means they stand on the bottom rung and hold on tight to keep it from moving. Okay, time for the main event, actually climbing and working on the ladder. You've done all the hard work with the prep, now it's all about execution. This is where your focus is absolutely critical.
When you're actually moving up or down the ladder, there's only one number you need to remember. Just one. And that number is 3. What's the 3 for? It stands for 3 points of contact. At all times, you need to have either 2 feet and 1 hand or 2 hands and 1 foot touching that ladder. Always. Think of it like you're creating a stable little triangle with your body. It is, hands down, the best way to keep your balance.
And when you are on that ladder, you have one and only one job. Pay attention. That's it. This is not the time to take a phone call. It's not the time to have your headphones in. Your focus has to be 100% on what you're doing because 1 second of distraction is literally all it takes to fall. So let's run through some quick rules for when you're actually working up there. First, always face the ladder. Keep your body, kind of like your belt buckle, right between the 2 side rails. Don't start twisting or leaning out to the side. If you can't reach something, what do? You get down and you move the ladder. I know, it's a pain, but it's so much better than the alternative. Oh, and your tools? Don't carry them in your hands. That totally breaks our 3 points of contact rule. Use a tool belt, or even better, haul them up with a rope once you're in position. Whew, okay, we have covered a ton of information. So let's boil it all down to the absolute must-knows. If you walk away from this remembering only 3 things, please make it these 3.
You ready? Here they are. Number 1, inspect. Always check your ladder before you use it. Number 2, place. Set it up on firm, level ground using that 4-to-1 angle. And number 3, climb. Maintain 3 points of contact at all times. That's it. Inspect, place, climb. If you can make those 3 things second nature, you are going to be so much safer. So I want to leave you with a question. It's one thing to know all this stuff, but it's another thing to actually do it. So think about it. What's the one thing you're going to do differently the next time you grab a ladder? Are you finally going to do that 30-second inspection every time? Are you going to take the extra minute to get that 4-to-1 angle just right? Just pick one thing, turn it into a habit, and please stay safe out there.